What's up, guys? Back with another Groove Agent 5 video today. I'm testing out a new voiceover setup, so hopefully the sound's better now. Been practicing my restoration skills in Wavelab as well, so this will be the first video that I've actually done any post-production on. So there you go. So what we're going to be looking at today is applying grooves from breakbeats to the drums that we program in MIDI to make them a little more realistic. So I've loaded up an acoustic agent kit here in the Studio SE kit, a preset called Forget the Past. I created outputs for the separate drums, did some basic mixing and kind of zeroed everything within the instrument. Created a drum bus and a reverb send. Let's have a listen. And basically the pattern that I created is pretty much a clone of the aim and break. If we close this up a bit, you'll see we've got the double kicks, snares and ghosts with the hi-hats to kind of create the shuffles, and then a 16th note ride with a crash cymbal on the last kick, and it sounds like this. Okay, so it sounds a little bit robotic at the moment because it's quantized to 16th notes, I believe. Yeah. So if we wanted to add the groove from the Amen, all you need to do is open the break that you want to take the groove from. So in this case, we've got the Amen break here. I'm just going to close all of this so we can see what we're doing. So I've already gone in and I've edited the hit points. And one thing to bear in mind with the Amen is that the rides and hi-hats hit a little early on a lot of the hits here. So you're going to want to move it's going to put the hit point marker on that, and you're going to want to edit them to put them on the main hits in those cases. So there's another one, another one, another one. So there's quite a lot of editing work involved with the aim and break. And the second two bars, this is the original version at its original tempo that I chopped up. It's a stereo file as well, which generally isn't ideal. So those, because it's at a slower tempo, all of these guys here are just going to get cut off. So it's not going to matter too much. We're not going to get the clicks and pops at the end there. And we can always fix it with envelopes. So what you would do is, after you fix the hit points like that and you're happy with everything, which I am, you would go to the audio warp tab, because we're going to want to tighten it up a little bit, because like I said, this second, if you look here, these main kicks and snares aren't lining up on the second, on the third bar especially. So what we're going to do is just drag the hit points. If we put it on free warp, we'll just drag every main kick and snare to the grid, just to kind of tighten it up a little bit, but it'll leave the looseness of the ghost hits in between kind of intact. So we'll just snap all of these main hits real quick. And generally, if I was chopping up breaks, I wouldn't be using audio warp. It adds artifacts, which I don't care for. I generally, like I said in a previous video, pitch it up against a metronome or something, and then work that way. So we've got everything now mapped to the grid, all of the main hits. These ones in between will still be a bit loose. So now what we need to do is go back to the hit points tab, turn them back on again, and we're going to Control A to select all and click Create Groove. We're not actually going to slice this one up. So that should have then added the groove to our quantized settings here. And we can now go to this MIDI clip, which is cloning the aim and drum hit positions. And if we go into the clip here, we can Control A, and you can see that this is the quantized setting for the break. And if you don't want to move it totally to the break, like, see, if we do this, you'll see, if we zoom in a little bit, I'll just undo, you'll see those ghost hits and some of the hi-hats move, but the main hits all stay intact. The lengths might change, but the positions will stay the same. And with iterative quantize here, you can set a percentage to quantize it. So we could do maybe 75% and see how that sounds. And if we do it 100%, if we turn off iterative quantize and quantize it to 100%, maybe quantize the ends as well, we should get, it should match the Amen now. I mean, I guess for context, I should have shown you how loose it sounded before. But, you know, we could now maybe, I've got a little processing on the drum bus here. This decapitator is, it's on a mostly dry mix, but it's really pushing the highs. Got some tube compression at the end of the chain and some very light EQing, just to kind of bring out the tops a bit and the lows. Very, very, very light EQing. But what we could do now is send that Amen break to the drum bus. And it's probably going to increase the volume a fair bit. Let's bring this down maybe to -15. And the limiter on my stereo out, I'm going to back it off a little bit, maybe to about 5 dB. Let's see how that sounds. Just going to bypass that EQ and we'll load up frequency because it's better. I think I'm also going to reduce the width. We'll use the stereo enhancer. We can maybe sidechain it as well. Let's try that. Let's maybe do 4:1. Bring the attack time down. Fairly fast release time. Turn on sidechain, and we'll send maybe the kick drum. Okay, so you get the idea. You know, I probably generally wouldn't actually use the amen, but maybe for an edit with this break, I'd probably use something a bit, I don't know, something a bit more like Tighten Up or Funky Drummer or something with this. And it'll probably sound better if we go into the acoustic agent and kind of tighten up the envelopes a bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think the decapitator's kind of messing it up too much and the compression that we put on there. So yeah, let's take that off. Another technique that's kind of cool with this is, say we wanted to extract a groove from a percussion loop. Let's go into my file browser here. Okay, that'll do. We'll drag that up to here. Going to turn off the turn this back to 16th notes, and we'll get that loop in. So we would do the same thing. We'll go into here. Let's maybe bring the threshold down a bit. We're going to have to draw these ones in. Zoom in over here. So let's pull these back. Okay, that'll do. We'll select all of that and create groove. Oh yeah, and then another thing that you can do with this is if we select all of that, we'll create MIDI notes as well. And select dynamic velocity, and it'll take the velocities from the hits here, send it to a new MIDI track. If we close that now, we should have our MIDI here. It always seems to miss the first one. So let's just draw one in there, long note maybe. Maybe do another one there, couple in here. Maybe change the notes on a few of these. Okay. So what we're going to do is on this channel, we're going to load up. Actually, let's just go to my VST instrument library. We'll drag over, say, yeah, let's do Diva. And we'll just drag that MIDI up to the Diva channel. I prefer working with instrument tracks these days than MIDI channels, so let's just delete that. Okay. So then you've got a bass line basically following the percussion. Okay, so, we'll drag that guy over here. Change this one up a little bit. So then you can just start, finding presets that you like or whatever. So yeah, you get the idea. Can be super handy way to get a groove happening with a bass very quickly. Just jacking a groove straight from a percussion loop. So yeah, that's another quick tip on some, ways to add some funk to program drums and to quickly come up with bassline grooves. So I'm going to do another one today, I think, on the percussion agent. That'll be the last remaining piece of groove agent that we haven't really looked at yet. And then we'll be going much more in depth on building drum and bass drum tracks from the ground up, using all of the techniques and everything within Groove Agent. We'll make use of the decompose feature to layer our main drum hits. We'll use the percussion agent. We'll maybe use some like rides or something from an acoustic agent and chop up some breakbeats for edits. So it'll be a fun one, quite a long one, an in-depth one after these quick tips I've been doing. So, once again, if you enjoyed the video or any of the content I put up so far, hopefully the sound quality will be a lot better going forward. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell notification. I should have a couple of videos going up over the next couple of days. All right, guys, that's it. Peace out. See you next time.